We just saw the trailer. It was a trailer.
I really did leave that for an awkward pause.
Yeah.
Yep, there's a trailer. There is a trailer. They take the 5 most recognizable characters of the expansion and they present them in the trailer.
There are, in fact, characters in there. And they say things. And it's kind of along the lines of...
I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you.
And then Xalatath has a statement. And then does a duck face at the end.
She linearly interpolates her way into a pose. It's just the way that, like, Xalatath's looking, straight, like, dead at the camera, and then, like, you can see the little, you can see the playheads move on, like, just the linear curve on her keyframe. I mean, it's probably not like that, but yeah, it does look a bit duck face. And there's other faces too. There's some sort of Zoolander face that I think all the Zoomers are into now.
Really?
I think they're all
have
into
they
that,
watched
yeah.
Zoolander? It's about time.
Or something like that. I mean, I don't really understand it. So there was a trailer called Shadow and Fury.
Which
Fury.
I really don't know what's going on. Like in general, because I was away for a while, but also
Matt
I really
has got
don't
dementia.
know. I really don't know because Shadow, like.
Yeah, but you can know. Here's what's good though.
Yeah.
You can hear Chris Metzen say it, and he goes Shadow and Fury.
Yeah, but like Illyria, she's not furious yet. We haven't seen her be furious yet. There's a wee bit of fury, a wee bit angry at the illusion of Tartalion in the Dark Arc quest line, but otherwise it's like, it's all right. Where's the fury?
Really.
And then Anduin's not fury. He's in sad boy hours still. Will be forever. And Thrall was furious, but only for like a second, purely in the cinematic.
Thrall,
Yeah.
he resembled like me trying to learn how to whistle. I can't whistle, and like sometimes I can make just a little bit of a. No, I can make like a little bit of a whistling noise, and then I lose it, and then I punch the ground and destroy all the rocks because I'm an orc. So yeah, Thrall, and that you know what, we can just do that topic now. The whole topic of Thrall's lost his connection to the elements again.
Well, I think it's different this time.
Yeah,
to be completely
yeah.
serious, I think it's slightly different. I think he's lost the connection to the elements in the like where on the chain is it broken? It's broken at the element end, not at his end.
Yeah, not at the
Whereas
Thrall
he
end.
was always like metaphor for certain men getting older problems aside, all of those things from then. It's like, yeah, he just doesn't have it anymore,
Are you telling me? Are you telling me that's what it's been about?
Yes.
Is that what
I assume so.
Did he throw his dick into Deepholm and then we picked it up and used it as a weapon for Legion? Is that the analogy we're rolling with here?
Possibly, yes.
Very good.
I think so. Anyway, yeah.
Well,
He needs to hop on TRT.
it playing out that way works better.
Yeah, I think like...
So there's been a lot of fear online. It's like, oh my god, they're doing the same thing with Thrall for the third time. But if it is something's changed and now he can't get them because the thing has changed, then that makes sense with Radiant Song. Makes sense with Magni. Magni, not happy being a stone. Not enjoying the stony life.
Yeah, which was, there's no... Like, he did a little fisty grab thing and bits fell off. Which, you might want to get that looked at.
That's pretty worrying.
Yeah, so... I don't know. As far as trailers go, I think they could have done... Like, they had an idea. They had some sort of, like, goal in mind, and I don't know how it really manifested all that well. Yes, please. Turn me around a little bit. Oh, I'm perfect. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Totemic dysfunction. That's perfect. No, that's a little bit too much. I think... I don't really know what to think about it.
That line won't do.
Perfect.
That's a bit better.
I'd throw on the trailer, but there's no point because there's nothing really of any value said. It's like a vibe setting up thing.
It's a vibe trailer. There are some nice images. Some very nice images.
Oh, it's very pretty. It's a very, very, very pretty trailer. 100%. It's like visually beautiful. It's just like you could have a trailer with some punch that actually meant something to the plot of the story or something. I don't know. We live in a world now. We live in a world where the trailers aren't what they how do I describe it? Should be. they're just all made up nonsense now. They're either the whole thing condensed in 40 seconds so you don't have to watch the movie or play the game, or it's some incoherent nonsense that doesn't actually apply to anything because it was outsourced to someone. Not that I think it is in this case, but I'm just talking about trailers like on in general.
Yeah. Like Furiosa, Furiosa, apparently like really good movie. Trailer ass.
I could not believe that trailer. Because I've seen people
right?
talk about how like good the movie is. And like, I'd love to go see it in in my movie theater
Babe
before
2,
it dies.
in the City from the man who made it. Let's go.
Yeah, but then the trailer's fucking.
The trailer is just like, be excited. I still think,
show me why. Show me why, please.
The Alien trailer, the original Alien trailer. I still think that's one of the best.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, it's good. It's a really it's a good ass trailer. So yes, Shadow and Fury happened. What do we really learn? Nothing. Not really. I suppose their challenge in that was to do a vibe trailer, ending with a duck face, in which each character got 1 to 2 lines, maybe 3, to sort of explain their deal very quickly. And that is what they did.
Fantastic work.
And I think it's the sort of thing that wouldn't really land with us because, we know this and have known it for ages, but it is probably the sort of thing that hits different to a broad audience.
Are you saying we're out of touch, Michael?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Matt, we are horrendously out of touch.
I know.
Completely.
I know. Don't remind me.
Completely. I mean, it's insane. Like, I thought the Prophet Velen died in Warlords of Draenor. I go to Exodar and I see him. I go to Orgrimmar and I see Sylvanas and Garrosh and Thrall.
Pretty big plot holes, those.
Yeah, exactly. Preach still thinks Thrall uses the Doombringer. Which is just to say, like, yeah, a lot of people don't have really much of a clue what's going on, and in many ways it's not really their fault. Both by like a function of time, like it's both delivery and time. So like Magni turning into a rock is still in my recent memory, but unfortunately, everyone, that happened 14 years ago, right? So there's a lot of stuff that they need to reintroduce. All of the Magni stuff, like him, Heart of Azeroth and the Chamber of the Heart. Like, okay, if you didn't play Legion pre-patch questline, there you go. You just didn't get the setup for that. You just didn't get it, right? Like there is, there's a lot that so many people won't know. So I think in a trailer like that, what they have to do is it says Shadow and Fury, and someone's like, oh boy, damn, I love Shadow and I love Fury. I'm going to click in this. And then by the end, they're like, oh, look at those pretty images. I know what these people want. And I think it accomplished that mission. It's just it's tricky to market the story of WoW. It's really tricky. Because, you have to start by like, oh, now wait a second. What if God was actually a big blue man who lied to you?
I mean,
which to all of us is fine because we have this like big, encyclopedic knowledge. But given that like a lot of WoW's growth has ended up being off the back of like Mythic Plus, Race to World First, and then just like the casual intake of people, where I don't know what they think Chromie time is. Sure, Night Stalker.
Blizzard don't know what Chromie time is.
Night Stalker hangs out in our Discord, because he does the mentor chat thing. There's just these times where he's like, oh yeah, I was doing mentor chat this day, and this person had no idea about that. And it's like basic stuff. It reminds me of the time I was leveling an old hunter in Tanaris way back, and I just saw a level 54 person who didn't have a pet. The petless hunter. And I asked them, and they're like, wait, what? You can have a pet? And granted, this is like over 10 years. This is probably like 16 years. Shit. This is 16 years ago. But that's still happening. I don't know how this hunter like completely missed the you can have a pet bit of playing a hunter, but they did. They did.
The game never tells you.
Like, yeah, the pet quest, but other than that,
Yeah, the game never tells you. And by that, I mean the game never puts a neon sign on the middle of your screen, pauses your game and says, you cannot continue further until you acquire a pet. Which is, that's how video games work.
Why do I feel like there's a lot of people at Ubisoft who have never been allowed out of the cage, and this is their entire job. Their
Almost
entire
certainly.
job is just, oh dear God, oh no, we have to put a marker on everything. Yeah. Anyway, and then Xalatath. I mean, for a lot of people, maybe they played Legion. Like, you can play Legion and not know what Xalatath is. Actually, I've had multiple comments of people saying, could you explain who Xalatath is? Where does Xalatath come from?
That's so painful to me.
But it's so easy to miss.
I know, obviously.
So imagine you played Paladin, and you played all the content, right? You have your class mount, you got completely tricked out in Legion. The only time you saw Xalatath is maybe if it was floating about whenever Magni was doing the big slurp from the sword, and then you never saw Xalatath again. Now, until maybe BFA, but a lot of people did not see the patch 10.1.5 quests. Blizzard even, because during BFA, they were not really in full, we're going to own our L's mode. But like I think it was after the fact, they admitted like, yeah, you know, our storytelling wasn't clear and things got really confusing towards the middle. The thing is, the bit in the middle was Xalatath. So I completely understand how these people, you know, were able to say to me, oh, who's Xalatath? What's going on? Yeah, I could completely understand how, let's just say you're playing a Paladin, that's the only thing you play, you do most of the story. Maybe you miss the game for a few weeks. You don't watch lore videos. You have no idea. And then, like, everyone was going big coom during Dragonflight, because they're like, oh my god, a silhouette! The silhouette! The silhouette has the Dark Heart! I mean, it's so much more exciting than the Jailer has the sigils.
There's certainly a class division issue with World of Warcraft storytelling.
Oh boy.
So say next go, where's the lore tab? Do you think a lore tab would help?
Oh,
That's optional reading.
They're definitely doing something like that.
Yeah, but it's optional reading.
Like, in my interview, Holly was so like, I can't say anything, but yes, we have plans.
People don't
or
read.
we want to, they want to do something.
People don't read the quest text they put in the game. Why are they? Who's going to read the lore tab?
Well, Matt, there was this modding team a few years ago. They did something called WoW Tales, and
Is that so?
yeah, it was pretty incredible. You were able to go through the Elven Forest using WoW Tales, without reading anything. It was all voice acted. It's a project we did, and then Blizzard's lawyers went kaput. So yes, we got rather slammed by that. I mean, it was like a pleasant slamming. So it was a pleasant slamming. It was fine. But what at least I feel like we did learn doing that was how do you communicate the story to the player? And I have to be honest with you, I still think we did it better than they do.
Well, of course, they are terrible at it and have always been terrible at it.
It's just that, so the way that we would do it, we'd always be trying to focus on like what characters are with the player, even if they are not necessarily, maybe a character is nearby the player. So, whenever you're killing the wolves at the start of Elwyn, like you've got McBride shouting some encouragement at you.
Go get those damn wolves, you fucker! Kill that bastard! Knife that shithead's throat, go! Stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah. So the way, like, as you go through it, and when it is the best in WoW, and it's something they did in Legion when you were picking up some runes in Suramar. You pick up a rune and then you get a little bit of story from like an audio log. So we were just trying to do things like that, and it led to a zero reading experience with a really minimal, because the other thing you can't do is just say, stand there and listen. That sucks. It sucks to play in a game like this. So we sort of did all that. We made custom dialogue triggers, so like we could play our audio at like, I mean, basically anything, anytime we wanted, with all of the triggers that we had developed.
I want to disagree with you slightly, because you say you can't stand still and listen, but I know something that World of Warcraft does that is almost worse. The amount of times they give you a voiceover in the middle of combat, and there's no form of audio mixing that happens in the game, no attenuation.
Oh, yeah.
So you just have someone delivering relatively stiff and dry dialogue while you're smashing all your buttons, and you hear a billion sound effects at once, especially when doing a quest on like the fresh like day.
I'm pretty sure
and there's 800 billion noises screaming at you, and you don't hear anything, and you have no way to hear it back.
It was
whatsoever.
in the plan at a point, but we wanted to do a delay if you were in combat for certain things, so the dialogue would only trigger after combat.
Yeah, that's what. So, like, it needs a way to, and this is where people are like, no, but you have to, you can't slow down like gameplay or combat or whatever. And those really long walking and talking scenes that are boring as shit in a bunch of AAA games. Those are there for a reason, because if you give people something to do while they're listening, they're not going to listen. They just won't. Maybe some will.
I think the problem
but
is
a lot of people
in a lot of the AAAs, that's them using the sledgehammer. They're using the sledgehammer, which is, I suppose, a big stick with metal in the end. Maybe there's another form of carrot that can do the job.
But
there.
you can't just say, while you're doing all your gameplay, we'll narrate to you, because that also doesn't work.
Well,
you have to find something somewhere in the middle that's a bit more appropriate.
It was a design risk in some parts of Pill Beyond for the guys where, there'd be people who they'd say dialogue to a character and they wouldn't understand. Like, they're like, why did you not like that? And from our perspective, it's like, did you pay it?
Did you read?
Yeah, because like if you just go click, 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 and you don't know how that character thinks and what that character's perspective is in the world, then you won't be able to engage in dialogue with that character in a way that will allow you to get the results that you want, right? Like you have to have that. It's like the EQ angle, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, requiring EQ or IQ in a video game for a broad audience is very, very, very challenging.
And that is why the 0.1% of Diablo players make builds, and the rest of us just enter them, get high, and listen to World War II documentaries, and hurt their back. That's what I did last week.
I have a funny feeling you're talking about someone in specific.
Yeah, someone, Matt. Someone who may be in this very room.
Oh, God, where is he? Where's the idiot? Where's the fucking moron so I can kill him? Anyway.
Please.
Yes, so I think...
Which is to say, that's why you need a vibe trailer like that.
Yeah, but a better one.
I think big
one that
picture,
actually leads into the story.
Do you know where Blizzard probably did this better than most places they've ever done? An expansion of amazing cooking, but unfortunately they didn't finish. They just didn't finish the job.
Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah, it's the WoD intro. And I know that people, people would eye roll it. Oh my God, I'm doing the WoD intro for the 55th time. Well, number one, compare that to the Legion intro,
yeah,
the BFA intro, or heaven forbid, the Maw. So, like, if you think about the WoD intro, it was snappy, right? It was snappy. Most of the time when there was protracted dialogue, your characters were running to the next point in their journey because the whole thing was an escape. And because it was an escape, you didn't have that thing that some people find immersion breaking in the West Wing, where, in the West Wing, everyone's just fucking walking. Everyone's just walking, having a conversation. And it does mean that, like, a lot of the show feels, like, really dynamic. But then people are, I think it was even my dad, he was like, why do they just not sit down?
Gotta get their steps in, bro. Gotta get their steps in every day of the week.
Yeah, I just think the WoD one was near perfect, and a lot of like the little things that we did were like very aligned to the WoD intro thing. And you look at the really good parts of WoD. I mean, something it usually goes broad in terms of you can do side quests and adventure about, but then what WoD did a good job of was tightening in.
Yeah, it was
to maybe give you a cinematic, give you some. Yeah, and those cinematics were a good. They were a properly done cinematic where it's like, why is there a cinematic? Because we cannot show this to you in the game.
Because an event has occurred.
Whereas, these days in a lot of games, it's just cinematic that, cinematic that, cinematic. I even remember I was watching the Mandalore gaming review of Homeworld 3. Oh my God, what did they do? What did they do with that? What did they do with that story? Oh, dearie me, dear me. 14 writers in the credits for Homeworld 3 story.
That's a lot of writers.
Too many cooks. But it's probably multiple troops of cooks being, rotated through multiple versions of the game, which was almost certainly in utter development hell. So, that's
The industry classic.
the industry classic. Where WoW has got an opposite. Well, no, it's had similar problems, but in some ways, WoW's got an opposite problem, where it is, you have all of those teams, but instead of writing over each other's work, they're all just making non-conflicting work in parallel. And then they filled up 4 zones.
Yeah.
And that's why WoW has that phenomenon of pre-expansion, pre-expansion story, first zone, stuff happens, there's cultural explorations, then the end of the campaign at max level, and then the story actually starts with the patches.
Yeah, you're like, where's my story? Where's my story in the expansion?
And
That's
that's
not in the expansion.
and that's all
where is
because
it?
if you want to make, say, 20 hours of mostly linear narrative content, it's extremely hard to parallelize that without it just turning into total slop.
Skill issue.
There you go. In the words of Ian Hazzikostas himself.
Absolute and utter skill issue. It's an issue of they don't
We need to put that on
want to do that.
what do you call them?
Soundboard,
A
yeah.
sound bonker. That's the one.
Yeah, sound bunker.
Yeah, you bonk it and then...
What sort of Mandela effect hell is this from
I
a
don't know.
different world? Everything's called worse things. But yeah, I think like the trailer, people are like, yeah, the trailer was fine. It just didn't really do anything of any note. You like, what's the story of the expansion? Zaltath's there, I guess.
It was
All right,
it was vibe and recap.
Yeah.
And I suppose... That's so hard with video game trailers. I think video game trailers are genuinely much harder than film trailers because...
Easy, yeah, easy.
I edited all of the trailers for The Pale Beyond. That was fun. It's very fun. They're hard because, between you'll be talking with, people in the team and the publisher, and you're like, okay, we need to hit all these story beats in our trailer, but we want it to be 90 seconds, but we need to show mechanics because people probably want to see mechanics. But how do we do that without breaking the flow? So it's hard, and I guess that's why this is a vibe and recap. And I think as a vibe and recap, people will probably see a bunch of characters who broadly look pretty cool, but the duck face won't land at the end.
Maybe it will.
people
Yeah, it's
the duck
we
face.
have it here somewhere. I believe
Do you- the thing is-
we got told about it. Yes, here we go.
It looks
Here
like
we
a face
go.
app.
Here we
You know
go.
those face app flipping memes people do.
Let me just make sure this works. It does indeed. No, it doesn't. That's okay. Decided to
Zalatath
not.
has went
Cool.
full basic. Let's go.
1 second while I solve this issue of that's the frozen on the window from last week instead of the actual
Last
one.
week's news today. Eat your heart out, Elliot Carver.
Fantastic. And there we go. We have there we go.
Because the face looks really cool. And then
Yeah.
and then it's like you can see the point in the timeline where it just almost linearly she transforms into the duck.
Yeah.
Great.
It does kind of look a little bit like a face app.
It does look like a face app. But the thing is, right, in isolation, it's good. Like, the screenshots are good. I think it's just the motion.
Yeah, so now that I said, I'm like, yeah, that actually looks fine to
Do
me.
you know what it is? There's no micro expressions. That's it. There's no micro expressions to sell her being idle. That's probably... right. That's actually real interesting, because that's a problem that they're going to have with their...
fucking Sonic grin.
like, these real, like, top quality assets. So if you look at the thing that was really, like, I think pretty astounding, and considering it's, the Anduin Thrall cinematic for this expansion, like, the thing that sells that's the micro expressions and just the tiny little twitches. So when a character is totally in idle, their face is doing something. I think for Zalatath, it's just that it's movement within her face that's not a primary animation. So it means that she goes from my face is perfectly still.
Yeah, something like that anyway. Something like that.
Which, in fairness, right? I mean,
These are some beautiful screenshots.
oh yeah.
And then Jaina for the crack.
I love it.
I don't really know why she's here.
Jane's like, it's a Sunday morning. I need to go out for a walk. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to ascend my tower and brood. She's just standing up there. You fuckers.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just like, oh, well, what's the dialogue? The dialogue whenever it cuts to Jaina.
Do you ever just
Oh
stare
yeah.
ominously?
For Jaina, right? The line Xal'atath says when we're looking at Jaina is, "You revel in power that cannot withstand what is to come." That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What is to come?
Yeah.
First, we saw it in the trailer for June 2. No,
We did.
sorry. First, Zoval said it. And then Timothy Chalamet.
Of course, yes.
Someone's got to think I really say it like that. And now Jaina. What does it mean, bros? What does it mean? So yeah, I revel in power. I just love the idea. Like, Jaina just goes up her tower and just says, you know what, I'm going to have a good revel.
I'm so fucking strong up here, boys.
My staff. I am the sea.
Look at the glow off my fucking staff, boys. I'm so strong. Holy shit. You're like, but that's not really part of her character.
I am wearing my only pair of clothes.
But that's
That
not
doesn't make sense.
their arc.
No, if
Like,
I start
hinting-
explaining that, I'll get into J.K. Rowling levels of like, oh, the wizards just shit in the floor and teleport it somewhere else.
That's world building. I love it.
That's the best world building I've ever seen.
Unironically. Anyway, yeah, like, it is very, very pretty. It is kind of weird. You see the differences in, like, facial detailing pretty clearly here. Where Illyria looks very Fortnite. Anduin looks substantially less Fortnite.
Anduin looks class.
Because of the gradation on his skin and stuff and, like, all the texture. And he looks like he's kind of... They kind of don't look like they're from the same game.
I think it's because, you know...
They look very different.
No, I think it's Illyria's skincare regime. She hasn't aged a fucking second, like... Whereas look at Anduin. Look at this, like, 23-year-old man versus this... How old's Illyria?
Yes. I have no idea, but it's...
Cheapers being a human's tragic.
Sure is.
Let's see, what's the age of Illyria? Okay, so this is a 2,800-year-old woman.
Fuck, not bad, like.
Compared to...
Bad?
Compared to a young, strapping 23-year-old
I mean,
lad.
isn't this just...
Oh, you're scrungly there, mate.
how women age, how men age, easy, like. Yeah. That's it. I mean, that's what happens whenever, you have such a stress-free life. Illyria had nothing to do for thousands of years, except for, fight the eternal war against the Legion. That was also time dilation that actually didn't really count for the 1,000 years of her life. Cool, nice, sweet.
Okay, if we were doing it for... I just want, like, Illyria to be covered in scars.
Yeah.
Just, like, covered in scars. Just, like, a chunk of her arm missing.
I mean,
I lost that back in the war.
We have to do the fantasy staple of no attack ever came close to her face.
Of course not.
But then, like, she, like, takes off, like, her robe and you see, like, the shot of her back and it's fucking torn. It's, like, torn to shreds. You need that shit. That's good. That's good. You're like, you're very good at defending your face. Interesting. Why not, the most of your body where all your organs are? No, it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. It's all right. Jaina again. Magni.
Magni
looks good. I like it.
Yeah, Magni's just like, I'm still a rock. No. I like Magni's story. I like how the Earthen are civilization mirroring it.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
I kind of like it, but I'm just a bit of a gun.
Honestly,
I'm just gonna have a grumble.
Yeah.
I've
become astoundingly cynical in the past 3 days.
Damn. Is Magni just too IKR for you?
Absolutely. No, actually, I like Magni. I really like the way he looks.
He looks great. Yeah. The lighting's real nice. The Darkheart looks really cool.
Oh yeah.
I wish my house keys could do that.
Oh yeah.
But apparently Eltharians do.
Thrall just chilling with a nice wee torn totem from 1,000 years ago. We see the elements. Only 3 of them.
Only 3?
Where's wind?
They've taken the wind
They
away.
forgot wind.
Storming sea, shut down.
Yeah. They've got storm, earth, and fire here, but I think the storm's just the water. That's sad. That's sad. And then he's having
Oh no.
It.
Oh no. It's gone soft. Rah! Smash!
Understandable. Again, you kind of go, okay, like that tells a decent bit of a story to a nobody. You're like, well, here's a man. He's an earth man, shaman man, looking totem stuff, whatever. The elements are there, and
we've got
there.
Young man can't deal with his emotions. Old man's dick broke.
Yeah.
Stony stoic man doesn't feel anything anymore and is sad.
Yeah.
We're hitting them all.
Man reads meditations once he's over, like, no, I don't love my family anymore. No. Oh, pain.
Yeah.
I really.
God.
Really
Yeah.
That's so pretty, though.
Yeah, it is.
That's so pretty. Everything is pretty. So yeah, there's not really an awful lot
Cutting analysis, man.
more to talk about, because this was just, as we said, just vibes. It did a decent job of Xal'atath being like, haha, you're all fucking dancing under my puppet strings. But otherwise, like,
Well, it turned out she was being puppeted herself.
yeah, well, obviously. It's like, how deep does it go? You know, the old
I was
puppet
just
strings
joking
meme of
about animation.
All right, where are you? Fair enough. I thought you were doing a deep cut analysis of how Xal'atath's going to end up being the jailer too.
What's she going to do next? Like, how does she hold the pose? Where does she go to, next? What's she thinking? What's the situation here? Who is she talking to? Is she just like, hey, camera, I'm going to fuck up these 5 people specifically?
She's monologuing by herself in her void basement in front of a mirror, practicing for when she sees us. You got to get the reps in.
Yeah.
Do you think villains just show up and can do all of that unprompted? They've got a script. They've got rehearsals. They've got everything. That's why her smile wasn't exactly perfect there.
We're referencing some K-pop here.
Almost. Are we?
I don't know.
Why are you saying that?
I looked at her smirk and I think it reminded me of the Pop Stars one from LOL.
Right, I see. Yes.
LOL, which unfortunately, Matt, I was forced to talk about today. Because would you like to celebrate Faker, one of the greatest gamers on Earth, with a $450 dollar consumption?
$500 Irish skin,
yeah.
Yeah. Sound. Perfect. Problem. Fine.
So
It's
there you
fine.
go. It's Xal'atath. Good villain. I don't think they'll kill her. It'll be mad to kill her. Very mad.
Yeah, but also you have to kill Pete.
They just need to keep this up for like 4 expansions. So in the next expansion, they reuse all of the Xal'atath bits. They just slot in different characters. Be great.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
So yes, that happened. Right.
That was the trailer.